Right, so this video is to try and complement those of you that have been seen by one of our team, and we found that alongside your pelvic floor muscle decreased range of movement, that possibly some of your other muscles around the pelvic area are also being a little bit dysfunctional and not helping you reach your optimum. With this stretch program, you may find some of these stretches quite challenging, so please just be very gentle with yourself. As with all stretches, as with all movements, just go to the edge of what is comfortable. Don't try and push through it. This isn't about how far your leg goes or how much far you can reach down your knee or anything like that. This is very much checking in with yourself and feeling how it feels to you and what you feel is achievable. And each time, just seeing, can you ask a little bit more of yourself? But if you can't, also just acknowledging that and just keeping working with it and sitting with that. Right, so what I'd like you to do is to just come into lying first of all. So lying completely flat, just having a bit of a shimmy on the mat, getting comfy, just wiggling your toes first of all, noticing how they're feeling, coming up to your ankles. So just move your feet forwards and backwards, up to the knees, because often we lock as when we're standing through our knees, so our knee joints can be a bit stiff. Up to the hips, give the hips a shimmy. Through the tummy, just take a nice deep breath in. Start to think about filling up that belly space, and then out to the shoulders, recognizing whether you tend to lie with your shoulders a little bit protracted, what means by forwards, or whether you can set them a little bit down, and getting the head comfortable. Okay, so we're going to start with that belly breathing that we've been practicing a lot. So you're placing one hand on your lower tummy and one hand on your chest. And this is to just make sure that you're not breathing through the upper chest. You're just going to take these lovely deep breaths in. So you're going to take a breath in. As you breathe in, your belly comes up and out. And it's not forced, you're just allowing it to come up. And then breathing out, the tummy comes back down. Again, just taking that lovely deep breath in and out, and just taking your time with this. Don't force it. Don't make it one big breath after another big breath, because that can make you feel a little bit lightheaded. It's coming back to normal breathing. And then with these next couple of big belly breaths, just see, can you create a little bit more doming of the tummy? Do you get a little bit more breath down into that space within the tummy and down? Good. And if it's more comfortable, likewise, just bringing the legs up. This is where we offset the hip flexors a little bit, and just again taking these lovely deep breaths as you're coming up and out. Lovely, great. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is to just bring your ankles together and see, this is where my uniform wasn't probably the best choice of outfit, about just letting your your knees fall out towards the side. And if you need to, you're going to feel quite a strain in this groin area here. So if you need to, bring in some yoga blocks to just support the knees to offset that stretch, so it's just at the edge, or a couple of pillows either side, and just allowing those knees to sink into the pillows or onto the yoga blocks. We're not forcing it down, we're just creating some stretch through the adductors here. Okay, now sometimes in this position, when people are doing this, they'll find their lower back arches. Just try and keep the back nice and neutral onto the mat. And again, bring your hands back to your belly. And in this position, just take some nice deep belly breaths. So again, just taking a breath in, allowing the tummy to swell up and out and out. Fabulous. And again, another lovely deep breath in and out. Wonderful, good. Sitting with that for a little bit longer if you can. And then bring the legs up, giving them a little bit of a shimmy and a shake. If you need to, coming back down into this position and just wiggling around, getting comfortable. But when you're ready, coming back up, bringing the feet back together and coming back into that open position. Fabulous. And again, just sitting with it and feeling that stretch. If this is the first time you're doing this video, you may well find that just doing that one set was enough. If this is your fourth or fifth time, you might feel that you want to take on doing the second set, and that's absolutely wonderful. But again, you're just working within what you feel you can do. Again, a couple more belly breaths. And again, if this is your sort of second week or third week of doing this, at this point you might want to just see about adding a little bit more pressure, or making the pillow a little bit lower so that you do start to get in slightly more increased stretch through the adductors, through that pectineus. But just watching that lower back for that arching. Okay, and then floating the legs back together. This time what you're going to do is you're going to straighten one leg out, and we're just going to work on one side of opening up that hip. So you're going to bring the foot up into the side and let that knee drop down. Just being really mindful that the whole body doesn't rotate to that side, trying to keep the hip where it is and just letting that movement open here. You'll feel a slightly higher stretch than you did in the exercise before. Again, you might need a yoga block under that leg, or a pillow underneath, just to keep that neutral position. And here, just again, take a breath in, let the belly come up and out. Fabulous. And then again, if you want to, you can increase the stretch this time by placing a little bit of pressure on that knee or upper thigh and drawing the leg down towards the ground. Then bringing the knee back to the middle, swapping legs over. So float that off the leg that was out up, and take the other leg down, and then take the opposite leg out to the side. And this is where you might notice that one side you've got great mobility and can get the leg out very easily with little effort, but on the other side actually you need that bit of support of that yoga block underneath that leg initially to get that stretch. Again, work with me with the breath. So breathing in, as you're breathing in, the tummy's coming up and out. As you breathe out, it's coming down. Fabulous. And then placing, if you want to, a little bit more pressure into that, onto that knee, into that stretch. Taking a breath in and out. And then bringing the knee back to the middle and bringing the leg down. Excuse me, sorry. Right, this time you're going to bring your knee to your chest, keeping the other leg straight. The knees coming to the chest. And again, you're just coming as far as is comfortable. So you might find just coming to here is a strong enough stretch. And this is where we're stretching sort of within the glute area here. Or you might find you need to add on that little bit more and give yourself a bit more of a hug with it. Just again, watching that this leg isn't lifting up in the air to achieve it. You can bend the knee if you need to, if your hamstring's a little bit short, but ideally trying eventually to get that leg out and straight as best you can. Okay, and here again, we're just going to take that, do some lovely belly breaths. So taking a breath in and out. Enjoying that feeling. It's okay to feel a little bit of discomfort, but again, we're not being brave, we're not trying to push through it, we're not being competitive, we're just doing what we can with us, within what we feel is comfortable. Fabulous. Then floating that leg down and coming to the other side, so bringing the opposite knee to the chest and bring it up. If you need a little bit of a moment to have a wiggle, that's absolutely fine too. When you're ready, bring the leg up. Great. And again, you're just going to take that lovely deep breath in and out. You might find that you've now done this video so many times you're bored of my voice. You could put on some music. You could listen to a podcast and just sort of have the video going on in the background. Completely up to you. But don't try not to distract yourself too much from then missing the cues your body's telling you about whether you can push a little bit more or whether actually you're exactly where you should be with the exercise. Brilliant. And then float the leg down, and then just sit here and do again a couple more belly breaths, just noticing if with those stretches you increase the tension within the tummy, because our goal is to try and keep it lovely and soft as you're doing that. The next stretch that you're going to be doing is more of a piriformis, so a deeper glute stretch. So you're going to bring one leg up, and then the opposite ankle is going to come and rest on that knee. And we're going a little bit high within the glute area for this stretch. For some of you, you may find this is enough. This is a strong enough stretch. You can, to start with, to increase the stretch as and when you feel ready, just bring your foot a little bit closer towards you, because that's going to increase the stretch here. When you're ready to, you cross your arms between your legs and draw the leg towards you. And again, you're just sitting with this, taking a nice deep breath in and out. And if you feel ready to increase the stretch, it's always on the breath out that you're going to try and do that. Fabulous. Take another deep breath in and out. Okay, bring that leg down, bring this its friend down, have another wiggle, then place the other ankle on the knee. Again, this may well be enough, but if you want to feel ready to, bring the foot a bit closer, or as and when, draw that leg towards your body. Taking a breath in and out. Draw the knee a little bit closer to your body if your body's feeling ready for it. You also might find the stretch is not just in the glutes, you may be getting a little bit in the hamstring as well, and that's absolutely fine. You're then going to float the leg down, bring both legs down, have a little bit of a wiggle, and come back to belly breathing, so both hands are on your tummy, taking a nice deep breath in. As you're breathing, letting your belly come up, and as you're out, the belly comes back down. And again. We're going to move on to the frog, which is a much more challenging exercise. Please don't worry, if you can't do this, just skip forwards and miss it out. It's all about opening up in here, but in a more challenging position. So you bring your legs up and bring your feet together, and then you're really opening up your hips. So your elbows are inside, you're almost creating some openness through the pelvis, through the hips. So it's very similar to the exercise that you were doing like this, but we're just doing it more up in this position. And for some people, they find it really tricky, really uncomfortable. So only if you feel like you can do it, give it a go. But it really doesn't matter if you can't. But if you are here, again, just take that lovely deep breath in and out. Fabulous, keeping the tummy soft. Trying not, even though this might be more of a challenge, trying not to let the body build up in tension, because you're doing all this work to really lengthen it and prevent that from happening. Great, keep going. And then bring the feet down, slide the legs away, a bit of a roll. And again, hands back onto the tummy and back to that lovely belly breathing. So taking a nice deep breath in and out. And again. Okay, we're going to come up into sitting for a hamstring stretch. You have been lying now for quite a few minutes, so just be a little bit careful that you don't feel too lightheaded when you come up. So take your time. Okay, and for this hamstring stretch, you're going to bend one foot up and you're going to straighten out this other leg. Now, again, this position may be enough, and I have very short hamstrings, to be stretching that, okay? So that's absolutely fine if that's the case. You just stay in this position. If you can't feel that hamstring stretch, you're going to head down towards your ankle to see if you can get towards that foot, and ideally trying to get your nose towards your knee, which is a never for me, or I just need to do a lot more practice. But again, you just go to where is comfortable within the stretch, and we're just going to take that breath in and out. And then take another breath in and out. You can do a little bit of point and flex of the foot. It just adds a little bit more of a stretch to the moment. And then bring that foot up, swapping legs over. Feels very weird if you do one stretch on one side and not the other. I always feel a bit unequal at that point. Okay, so again, foot up in to the inner thigh, and then reaching forwards to try and find your toes. Mine are there somewhere, but reaching forwards, and you're feeling a lovely strong stretch through the hamstrings here. Taking a nice deep breath in and out. And it's on that out breath, if you feel like you're not quite at the edge of the stretch, you need to increase it. It's on the out breath you reach that little bit more forwards and increase that stretch a little bit more. Okay, so in this sitting position, it's also quite nice to do a little bit of hip rotation. So what I'd like you to do is just see if you can take your knees to the side and then come back to the middle, and then take your knees over to the other side and come back to the middle. If you're uncomfortable, you can come down onto your forearms. Sometimes that just gives you a little bit more support if your wrists don't really enjoy it. And again, you're just taking your knees to the side and singing, can I get my knees onto the floor? And actually mine won't go there at the minute. I don't have that range of movement. And then coming back to the middle and going over to the other side and back to the middle. Once more each side. Each time just seeing, can you get a little bit further and back, and again over the other way. Lovely. And back. Okay, and then coming back onto your back, supporting the head, come off the mat. Take a lovely deep breath in and out. Now, often for a lot of people, there's quite a lot of shortness that goes through the hip flexors and into the tummy muscles, because we spent quite a lot of time possibly being in discomfort and in this sort of position, sort of protecting this area. It's also really important to try and stretch it out. So that's why breathing in this position is lovely, but we can also try and increase that stretch even further by doing a bit of a stretch on your tummy. So if you come and lie on your tummy, and again, this is only if it's comfortable to be on your tummy, shoulders down, away from your ears, and just to start with, placing your hands one on top of the other and your forehead resting on the hand. Take a nice deep breath in again. Use the feedback of the mat to feel your belly moving and out. As and when it feels comfortable, if you come up onto your forearms, you're going to get a stretch through your abdominal muscles, but also through your hip flexors. Okay, we're not going so much that we want to make the back feel sore. Some people will find this absolutely fine on the back, others will feel very uncomfortable, so just doing what feels okay for you. And again, we're just going to sit here and breathe, so taking a nice deep breath in and out. If you need to come down and rest for a little bit, by all means come down and rest. Those that are happy staying up in that position, by all means stay up in that position, taking a nice deep breath in and out. Just notice if you're getting any tension through the glutes, not allowing that to happen. And again, when you're ready, coming back up, if you've had a little bit of a break from that position, and some of you might feel you can bring your elbows a bit closer to you, or even coming up and starting to come up into more of that position, but only if the lower back is happy for you to do so. If not, you'll still be getting a lovely stretch through the tummy muscles in this position. Take a breath in and out, making sure the feet are nice and ported on the floor and they've not come up into the air. Shoulders down. Well done. Okay, in this position, this leads us very nicely into the lovely prayer stretch. So, coming onto your knees, whichever's comfortable. If you want to take your legs a little bit apart, you can. If you prefer to keep them together, you can also do that. You're going to come forwards and reach forwards into the sort of child's pose prayer stretch. Taking a breath in, and on the breath out, just seeing if you can walk your fingers slightly further away from you. And just sitting here, allowing the fascia through the upper back to stretch out. Just bringing your fingertips back a little bit and possibly just moving your feet a little bit apart. Okay, and then in this position, it's a really nice position to do a couple of those belly breaths. So again, just thinking about taking a breath in, letting the belly swell out, and then out. Supporting your head on the mat if you want to, or keeping it up in the air, it really doesn't matter. And out. And then also with the prayer stretch, you're reaching forwards, and you can walk your fingertips around to the side. This is giving just the side of your body, your QL muscle, a little bit of a stretch as well. Coming back to the middle and going round to the other side. Again, taking a nice deep breath in and out. And then when you're ready, coming back down into lying. Right, so you're going to bring the legs back down. A bit of a shake. Okay, let's come back to the beginning. So just again, thinking about your toes, feeling the move. Do they feel like they've got more movement in them? Do they feel lighter? I don't know. To the ankles, to the knees. I think I've grown a bit. Pelvis, tummy is there now? Are you able? Can you feel your tummy move a bit more than when you did at the start? Shoulders sitting possibly a bit better. Think about length through the neck. Okay, and we're just going to finish again with a couple of belly breaths. Just take a nice deep breath in and out. And again, take a lovely deep breath in and out.